On March 2nd, the Octagon returns to T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for UFC 235.
Man, is it good to be back in the fight capital of the world.
This is a massive, massive event.
2 titles will be on the line in one of the most stacked cards of the year.
This kid's a special talent.
4-0 in the UFC.
He does everything great.
Davis taps. Zabit Magomed Sharipov. Oh, Jeremy Stevens trying to close the show.
You cannot break me. I am unbreakable, baby.
Jeremy Stevens, shut the lights off.
When that door closes, I'm one punch away from turning his lights off.
Oh, he's hurt. Big knockdown for Cody. I'm going to break your jaw.
Cody Garbrandt, nothing short of spectacular.
Body kick from Munhoz.
He has a very high finishing rate. Pedro Munhoz.
There is the undefeated Ben Askren.
I'm going to grab you. I'm going to throw you on the ground. I'm going to punch you until the ref says, quit that. You're hurting this man. I'm ready to kick the whole division.
Oh, vicious attack by Lawler.
Really, I just want to go out there and beat you up.
I come to fight. No matter what happens, I keep coming. And I'm trying to knock people out. Weili Zhang, unbeaten since her pro debut.
She's won 18 fights in a row. What a victory for Weili.
The tiny tornado, Tisha Torres. This is a fast, explosive striker.
Rear naked choke locked in, and it's over. Tisha Torres.
I'm the most dominant welterweight on the planet. Nobody can stop me.
I'm the best welterweight that's ever gonna fight in the Octagon, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna show him.
I break each and every one of my opponents, and I will break him as well.
Oh, Kamaru Usman.
I will be the world champion.
Oh, he turned.
This belt ain't going anywhere until I get done fighting.
Tyron Woodley's landing bombs.
Woodley remains the welterweight champ.
I have a lot of goals in this sport. The biggest one is just to be remembered as the greatest of all time.
I'm confident, and I don't have any doubt in my mind that I'm going to walk out of there with a win. Anthony Smith is going to be the champion of the 205-pound division.
Oh, big kick from Lionheart. Oh, drops him with the elbow.
I have every intention of walking out of there with my hand raised and with another finish.
Anthony Smith continues his rise to the top.
This is all or nothing for Jon Jones. This is everything.
I'm here to stay. I believe that this is my era,
Jon Jones has regained the throne.
and I'm going to own it for many years to come.
One of the greatest of all time.
What a night, ladies and gentlemen.
This is going to be amazing.
Oh!
What a night.
Welcome to the UFC 235 press conference from the David Copperfield Theater inside MGM Grand from Las Vegas, Nevada. March 2nd, it's a can't-miss pay-per-view event with a loaded show from top to bottom, including a bantamweight clash between 2 of the division's best. First to the stage, winner of 6 of his last 7 fights, Pedro, the Young Punisher, Munhoz. His opponent, the former UFC bantamweight champion of the world, Cody, No Love, Garbrandt. Moving on at welterweight, it's a clash of styles between 2 of the world's best 170-pounders. Making his much-anticipated UFC debut, 2008 Olympian, Funky Ben Askren. Askren faces one of the most decorated fighters in UFC history, one of the game's greatest warriors, former 170 title holder, Robbie Lawler. Moving on to the co-headliner. The UFC Welterweight Championship bout is a collision between two unstoppable forces. Welcome, the Nigerian Nightmare, undefeated in the UFC, riding a 13-fight win streak, and coming off the biggest win of his career in November. Here is Kamaru Usman. Usman looks to dethrone one of the greatest 170-pound champions of all time. Unbeaten in his last 7 fights, looking to make the 5th defense of his welterweight title. It's the chosen one, Tyron Woodley. And now, to the main event of UFC 235. The UFC Light Heavyweight Championship bout between the Cinderella story and the greatest force in the sport. A veteran of over 40 fights who turned in a 2018 to remember. After moving up to 205 pounds, he rattled off 3 straight wins, all finishes. And on March 2nd, he can make history. This is Anthony Lionheart Smith. For his rocky moment to become a reality, Smith will have to defeat the most decorated light heavyweight champion of all time. One of the best fighters in UFC history, the new 205-pound champion, Jon Jones.
What's up, everybody? How are you? Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it. Who has the first question?
Start with Jon, please. Jon, we got to speak with you briefly at the NSAC meeting on Tuesday. I just want to ask you, now that you've had a couple days to think about it, how comfortable are you with the resolution, and how happy are you with what got done, you know, the 1-fight license and knowing that you'll be tested the rest of the year? How happy are you with it the way it's done?
First, I want to thank everybody who made it out, all the fans in Las Vegas. Thank you guys so much. It's good to see you all. I'm very excited for UFC 235. I'm a little underwater today, so excuse me if I seem off my game. I'm very sick, actually. I'm excited that the whole thing's over. It was a 4-hour hearing. I learned a lot about what's happening in my body. It's good to know that I'm not the only athlete going through this. It's definitely the most high-profile case in the country right now, but you know, the biggest things is, you know, and I want to drive that home every time, that you know, these picograms give me no performance-enhancing benefits. I have USADA, VADA, and Nevada, all 3 drug testing me for the remainder of this year, that's a lot of needles. But I have no problem being in this position. I think through all the testing, I'll be vindicated, and we'll all be educated. So. Be great.
I was going to ask you about that, Jon. I mean, if you do make it through this entire year tested that frequently, and do you feel that at that point the questions have to stop, that people have to stop asking you, are you a cheater, have you been doing something wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think you know, me opening myself to being tested by 3 different agencies, it shows that I have nothing to hide. You know, USADA and VADA have been around for so long. They work with so many extremely successful athletes, guys who are a lot more influential than I am, guys who, they've worked with the who's, you know, and they're very credible. And I feel like them giving me my license shows that I am innocent, and that this doesn't help my performance at all. And yeah, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for everything to be out in the open and accessible for everybody to see.
Thanks, Jon. Anthony, I want to ask you, confidence has never been an issue with you, but you can't take away what Jon has accomplished as a fighter. But I wonder, as you prepare for this fight, do you look back at his fights and see mistakes that other people made that you can correct, or do you believe that you possess something different inside of you, a skill, a trait, whatever it may be, that he hasn't seen before?
You know, I think that every matchup is different. I don't think that you're ever going to fight two separate people and see the same thing. But I think that, especially with the move to 205, and I can really grow the way that I'm supposed to in between fights and leading up during the camp, that, you know, I think that I have the answer. I really do. Or I wouldn't be here. You know, I'm not just coming in to hang out and fight. That's not it. And as you said, obviously Jon is a phenomenal athlete. He's a phenomenal fighter. And I know what's in front of me. You know, this isn't some big surprise. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I put myself here on purpose.
Thanks, Anthony. I want to talk to Ben. Welcome to the UFC, of course. I wonder what the emotion is like for you right now. I mean, here you are, a guy that couldn't get to the UFC, that, you know, Dana had some negative things to say about. Now you're sitting on this panel full of superstars in your first appearance. So what's going through your head right now?
I'm just going to enjoy the moment. It's great to be here. Finally got this opportunity to prove how good I am at mixed martial arts, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to enjoy it the whole way.
You have always been an outspoken guy online. You've had some interactions on social media with guys. There's a lot of welterweights on the table right now. Yeah. I wonder what it's been like backstage while you've been in town. Have there been any interactions?
Marty tried attacking me 20 minutes ago. Listen, I knew this dude. We trained together at the Olympic Training Center. He was Marty then. I didn't even come at him when I got to the UFC because I liked him. I thought he was a good dude. Listen, the opportunity came up at UFC 233. Tyron was hurt. I can't say this is a fact. He could tell you if it's a fact. I don't know if it's a fact. Colby and Marty were supposed to fight each other. Colby got scared. He's kind of a little bitch. Pardon my language. And so I said, listen, this is an opportunity. I'm here to fight the best guys. He's pretty damn good at fighting. So let's get in there for the title. And so obviously, I put the full weight of what I could behind him. Obviously, he doesn't like his old name. But that was what he went by. And so I don't know what his issue is with it. I wasn't even really trying to insult him. That was just how I knew the man. And I wanted to get in the cage and fight him. So I was trying to make the most of my opportunity. He clearly took offense to it. Maybe he could tell us why he took offense to it. And, you know, if something comes up after Tyron and Marty fight, then I'd be willing to fight him in the future.
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it.
Yes, fight. We get in the cage. I think he's confused what we do. Like, we're not playing basketball, wrestling. We get in the cage and we fight each other. So threatening me backstage, like, that was what I volunteered for. I volunteered for that.
Thanks, Ben. Dana, I just want to ask one quick one outside of this card. The NSAC meeting was huge. I wanted to ask if you had spoken with Habib or his team yet. Maybe a 6-month suspension, maybe a 9-month suspension. We heard that he says he wants to wait the full year until his teammates are able to compete again. How soon do you think we can see Habib back in the cage? And is it possible that would happen here in Nevada? Because it sounds like he's saying maybe that he doesn't want that either.
Right. Yeah. No, I haven't talked to them yet. Yeah, we'll get it figured out.
If that 165 becomes available, America-Russia is always a great storyline. It always is. From like since the Cold War. America and Russia. Think about that. Think about how it sells. Think about that.
165, 165 isn't happening.
By that point, we're going to have 20-0 Ben Askren versus 27-0 Khabib. Someone's O's got to go. America versus Russia. I will get on his back and I will chant USA.
Hi, Dana. Just to piggyback off the back of that, you said you hadn't spoken to Khabib or his team. Have you spoken to McGregor or any of McGregor's team?
Have we talked to McGregor?
Yeah.
We've started to talk to McGregor. He's got less of a suspension, yeah.
Okay, so it's possible that he could be eligible in April. Is that a date against maybe Cowboys?
No, he wouldn't fight in April.
What sort of time frame are you looking at?
I don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out.
All right, fair enough.
Yep.
And for Robbie Lawler, you're introducing Ben Askren to the UFC. A lot's been made about his wrestling ability, but also about perhaps the quality of opponents he's had outside of the UFC. What do you think of Ben Askren's fighting abilities and also about the opponents he's faced already?
Obviously, he's fought all over the world, wrestled all over the world. He's a competitor. He figures out a way to win. So I got to go out there and get after him. My wrestling's all right. I train with pretty good wrestlers, get my body ready. My coaches are doing a great job with me, and my striking is getting better. So just got to go out there and get in his face and put some hands on him.
And the last one for me for Tyron. Obviously, for a long time there, it looked like it was going to be you versus Colby. It's now against Kamaru Usman. Are you still disappointed you're not fighting Covington, or is it the focus entirely switched on to Kamaru?
Definitely the focus is on Usman. You can't have an opponent that's worthy to fight. You're thinking about somebody else. Everybody got to get it at some point. They just shifted the order.
Thank you very much, guys.
Jon, a question for you. You're essentially undefeated in your career, and I wonder, do you feel like you're still ascending, or have you plateaued? Like, do you feel like you can get better than you have been to this point in your career?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like right now I'm at my absolute best. Fighting against Gustafsson just a few weeks ago, and being able to piggyback off of that win and go into another camp. Starting camp already in shape. Coaches, the vibe amongst the team already strong. I feel great. I'm doing a lot of boxing. I have a new boxing coach. We're starting to work. Boxing southpaw. I feel like when I go southpaw, everybody knows the kick's coming. So now I'm trying to get my hands better from the southpaw position. I'm doing a lot of jiu-jitsu, and I'm just realizing how much I don't know still about this sport. I'm really excited about how much I'm learning still. My maturity has grown tremendously. So where before in between fights I'd be the biggest party animal, now I'm in the gym while partying a lot, and so it works. It works. Yeah, I feel like my best performance will be this next one for sure. Hey, I see it. Love the energy, guys. Love the energy.
And just to follow up to that, Jon, you think of the great fighters in UFC history, and Anderson Silva had that long run, but it seems like 6 or 7 years is the most somebody can sustain it. Why do you think that is, that people don't have that ability to sustain so long? And B, is it kind of wearing down your body having all those fights, and is that part of it?
Well, with me, like I said before, I wouldn't really train in between fights. So where I'm a veteran, I feel very young in the game still. I've been lucky to have never been knocked out, never been dropped in practice. So I believe that my brain is extremely healthy. I feel like you can only take so many punches in your career, and I've never really taken any really big shots from anyone. So that helps. And then, I have this, I'm a Christian, and I really believe that God has blessed me to be in this position. And I feel like when you're backed by the Father, and if He tells you something's for you, then I believe it's for you. And I believe that God has anointed me to be a great fighter. And if you believe that, genuinely believe that, then you should have nothing to fear.
A question for Anthony. You've kind of turned your career around since your move up to light heavyweight. Confidence-wise, though, it's a different thing facing Jon Jones than is facing anybody else. How do you, in light of, you're going to hear over the next month, how he's the greatest fighter of all time and the odds are probably going to be massively against you. How do you maintain your confidence and belief in yourself when every day you're going to be hearing people doubting you and questioning you?
Jesus Christ, you're going to talk the whole fucking time? God damn, shut up. I've been doubted my entire career. I'm a small town kid from Nebraska. I'm not supposed to be here anyways. So what we do is we strip the name and the face away from the person, and we just attack the problems. And that's what we do. We know what's in front of us. We know what Jon brings to the table. There's plenty of footage out there, and that's how I attack it. I just don't make that big of a deal of it. To me, it's another fight, and I've been chasing this dream to be a world champion for a long time. There's been its ups and downs, and no one's ever counted on me to win. That's just not how my career's gone, and Jesus fucking Christ. And that's what we're doing, man. That's what we're doing. We're attacking the problems, and I'm taking the name and the face away from it, and that's what we're gonna do.
Thank you. And Tyron, last question I have is for you. you always have a lot of stuff going on in your life, and it seems like sometimes it bothers the boss when you maybe can't step up to fight. What have you been doing? Do you have any projects, movies, or songs, or anything coming out? And how have they impacted in terms of your fight career, being available to fight when the boss wants you to fight?
You know, there's nothing that I do outside of Octagon that's ever stopped me from being able to fight. There's been times where, you know, I fight somebody and you're in a violent sport. You know, when I'm out there, I'm trying to knock your head off. And if it breaks my hand or tear my labrum, or if I break my foot, it's been situations in the last 3 or 4 fights that within those fights I succumbed to injury in most fights in the first round, and I had to go out there and still find a way to win. And 3 of those injuries that happened in my last 4 fights required surgery. So surgery and being out and rehabbing is what kept me from fighting earlier than what I've liked to. It's never been me doing a movie or doing an album or doing television or doing anything like that. When I get in training camp, it's training camp. It's time to fight. It's time to focus in to zero. And there's been many movies and opportunities that I've had that I've turned down due to training camp. So I think that's kind of a misunderstanding that I would allow something in entertainment outside of fighting to stop me from taking a fight. That's something that would never happen.
Hey, Jon, welcome back. Obviously, Tuesday was very nerve-wracking for everyone, I think. And what was going through your mind, you know, the possibility? How stressful is that, the possibility that the commission might have gone the other way with their decision?
It was pretty stressful. You know, going into the meeting, I had a briefing meeting with my lawyer, and he said, Jon, I am certain that you're getting your license back. Don't worry, stay calm, cool, collected. And I was initially. And around the 3-hour mark, I started to get a little nervous. I was like, you know, I started to get a little nervous. I thought that it was a possibility that I wouldn't get the license, but it all worked out. I got the license, and like I said, you know, Nevada and these companies, USADA, VADA, are such powerful companies, and they have so much resource. And if I was a guilty athlete, or if I had, you know, something that was giving me a performance enhancing benefits, you know, I just simply wouldn't be here. That, you know, I feel like a lot of people say, oh, because you're Jon, you know, you're getting this special treatment and all this shit. And it's like, it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of time, a lot of research, a lot of lawyers and all this stuff. And a lot of scientists, the best scientists in the world, looking into my blood. And they've come to the conclusion that there's a fair fight happening. And so I'm just grateful to be here with my license.
Thanks. For Mr. White, was there a contingency in place had the commission gone the other way for the headliner?
No.
No?
No.
No contingency?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Robbie, how do you feel about welcoming Ben Askren to the UFC? He comes in here with highly touted and, you know, with a lot of accomplishments on his record. So how do you feel to be the guy that's going to welcome him to the Octagon?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. It's been a long layoff for me. Got back from my ACL surgery. It was a perfect fight for me to come back. Really, I've just been concentrating on myself, making sure I'm the best I could be. And it's a long, hard road, and I'm excited to get back in there and beat up on Askren.
Does it bother you that the Vegas odds have you as an underdog versus a guy who's never fought in the UFC, whereas you're a former champion in the UFC?
Well, I don't pay attention to the odds.
I figured.
Other than you telling me that, I don't really pay much attention to all the other stuff. Just focus on training every day, being with my family, making sure I'm becoming a better athlete. Basic stuff, staying within myself, and pretty boring, really, just eating food that's getting delivered to my house and grinding.
Fair enough. And Ben, obviously, if you continue your winning ways, it's going to put you on a collision course with your good friend and training partner, Tyron Woodley, although you all said you wouldn't fight each other. So, I mean, what's the answer? A 165 division, perhaps?
Most likely, I think. But Tyron and I aren't fighting. That's already been well established. These guys, Anthony doesn't like them. I think they're pretty funny. They're kind of on point. Tyron and I aren't fighting each other. There's a lot of options, and frankly, there's a lot of people in the welterweight division that I want to fight, and I haven't fought any of them, right? So I got a long list. I could fight every other month for the next couple of years and fight a whole bunch of people I don't like. So, you know, there's no need for me and Tyron to fight each other. A lot of people don't understand that, because most people would stab their best friend in the back for $100. They don't understand what real friendship's like. And it's like, I don't covet this man's possessions. I don't covet any of my friends' possessions. That's bullshit. Okay? Exactly.
Thanks, Ben. And last question for Cody Garbrandt. Obviously, you had a couple devastating losses to your rival in TJ Dillashaw. Just tell us what the recovery's been like for you after those knockout losses, and what your training camp's been like in preparation for this fight. You got another tough guy in front of you.
Yeah, I feel great. It's I've suffered defeats from TJ. I was able to refocus myself, my mind, my body. I was able to heal up and get back out there. So I just been back to the hard work. That's it. Being honest with myself. I got to watch my son grow up. He's 10 months now. So that was amazing to be able to watch that. It brought a lot of joy in my life. I'm healthier than ever. I'm, excited to get out there and just, this is my passion is to fight. I'm excited to go out there on March 2nd and deliver an awesome performance and climb my way back to the title shot and reclaim my throne.
Thank you.
Question for Jon, to your far left. It looks like you're going to be the biggest favorite you've been in your career for this fight. Usually when that happens, and especially if you roll through this, when you start hearing people saying, well, is there anyone left for frustrating, flattering? Just what do you make of that?
It's flattering, but at the end of the day, it's a very dangerous position to be in. When you are fighting a guy that no one expects to do well, as the favorite, you have to be mature enough and humble enough to stay at the drawing board, stay in practice, take your opponent extremely seriously. The odds makers, that's what they do. Fighting is what me and Anthony does, I made a mistake the first time I fought Alexander Gustafsson. I watched his footage, and I just felt there was just nothing in his game that showed me that he would be the guy to beat me. And he almost beat me because of that attitude. So I take Anthony Smith extremely serious. He has 40 fights. He has double the experience I have. And we're going to treat him like that type of person, despite how other people feel about him. He'll get my undivided full attention.
And one question for Dana. Dana, we got from Ben kind of what it's like for him to be up there. What about for you? What's it like? It seems like you're cracking a smile, enjoying him being up there. What's it like after all this? Yeah, I haven't been Askren up here.
Yeah, it's great. Listen, I'm the one that wanted to bring Ben Askren into the UFC. I made this decision. He's here. He's a UFC fighter, and yeah, we're cool. I'm cool anyway. I'm sure. There we go. 2 thumbs up. We're good.
I'm good also. All I need is opportunity. As long as you don't prevent me opportunity, we're great. And hey, man, as long as I keep winning fights, I'm going to have lots of opportunity.
Just for Kamaru to your right over here.
Hey, guys, stop. Stop. Go ahead, ask the question.
Kamaru, what happened with Ben backstage?
What? I know not of what you speak of.
Well, he said that you threatened him.
Threaten him? See, that's the difference. It's not threatening. There's no threat. What do I need to threaten somebody for? My thing is, I'm in this sport because this is what I do. I chose to be here. So if you're gonna, my thing is, if you're gonna talk online, you're gonna come at me with a certain energy. When you see me on site, keep that same energy. That's it. That's how I am.
Dude, we fight in a cage. I don't understand what more there can be. Like,
listen,
do we want to introduce weapons, or what do you want to do?
Listen, young man. You know what?
I'm older than you.
Congratulations, young man. Congratulations, you made it here. You get to be up here with your favorite fighters. Maybe after this, we can all sign something for you so you can take home to your family, okay? Congratulations, you made it here. Now, you know what? You should be worried about that man over there. You know who you're fighting?
Yeah, Robbie, he's good at fighting.
Do you know who you're fighting? Okay, pay attention. Be worried about that man. I'm fighting for the UFC welterweight title.
Yeah.
And on March 2nd, I will be the new welterweight champion.
I highly doubt
so at
that.
that point, you can come talk to me. But right now, focus on that man over there. All
if
right?
somehow Tyron slips on a banana peel or
man.
something, then I will be calling your name.
You better not come at 30%. If you come at 30%, they're gonna need the ambulance.
Oh, it's all good, Playboy. I ain't bringing 30% for you. Hey, you know what I always say, man? I have a biggest shovel out here. When it comes down to digging deep, can't nobody dig as hard as I can dig. So you know what, T. Wood? I want you to bring your best game.
Who have you dug against? Who has you fought?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter. My shovel is so deep.
In water.
Hey, this is one thing. This is one thing you never seen from me. I ain't backing up. You hit me, I'm still coming. And I'm coming all night long, T. Wood. Please don't back up.
Brother.
Don't back up,
Brother.
my man. Don't back
Brother.
up. Don't back up.
Watch the people that
you know
said
what?
that before.
Hey, don't matter.
Everybody that said that before, they ate the canvas.
They ate the
And
canvas.
the referee was coming to peel me off.
Listen. Anybody could put their head down, throw a haymaker, and pray, hope it land.
What?
Easy.
Well, it's kind of
That's all it
crazy.
is.
I got
That right hand. That
I'm
right
top
hand.
3 for the most knockdowns in welterweight history.
Hey,
And I
that
think I got
last, the
fastest
punch
KO
that
flat
the punch
out.
that supposedly
How many
dropped
people have you
Darren
knocked
Till
out in
didn't
your
even
career?
really last.
How many people have you knocked out in your career?
Same as you, 6.
No, don't fool yourself, brother.
How many you have?
Don't fool yourself.
How many you have? How many
Don't fool yourself.
KOs, TKOs you have?
How many people conscious?
How many
I stole?
KOs, TKOs you have?
None.
How many
Nice
you
try.
have?
Bruh,
Marty, you
I'm your mentor.
Hey, listen.
You talking back to your mentor right now.
Hey, it don't matter. You could feel like a big brother all you want, but at some point, big brother got to get their ass whooped too.
Not by you.
That doesn't happen.
Not by you. I haven't seen a person on the roster to do it yet. You ain't gonna be the one, bro.
All right. Hey, March 2nd, we're gonna see. When you hear and new, you know, you're gonna feel real special when you're walking backstage.
You don't even believe that yourself. Like it's you want to be so cool. You want to sound like LL Cool J. You don't even believe it yourself.
I don't believe it.
You don't even believe it yourself.
You believe it though. Hey, you believe it.
You don't even
You
believe it yourself.
You know deep down inside.
Don't
You know
think I-
deep
don't
down
think I
inside.
forgot
I'm
what
taking
you
that
said to
strap.
me.
You know deep
Don't
down
think I
I'm taking
forgot what
that
you said to
strap.
me. Hey Tyron, how did it feel when Dana first wrapped that belt around you?
Yeah.
I said you'll know one day, but not this. Not while I'm in it.
Oh,
Not while I'm
that's
fighting.
what you said to me? That's what you said to me?
You never asked me that.
No, I
You
said,
never asked
but
me that?
no, I understand. You
You never
said
asked me that?
you said you know, but did you say not when I'm champ?
I say
See,
you would know one day.
right there, right there, y'all listen, right there. This has been in the making. This has been in the making for
That day
years.
is not March 2nd,
This has been in
bro.
the making for years. Yeah, you a champ, but I asked you that. You know why? Because I'm gonna take it out for you one day. I asked
you
you that,
won't,
and you
man.
said you know one day. Guess what?
Kamar,
March 2nd will be the day.
Kamar, what you gonna do better than me?
Everything.
You gonna out wrestle me?
Everything.
If we get in the octagon and I can throw no punches, no knees,
Everything.
no takedowns, no submission, I would kick your ass and just wrestle, flat out. When it come down to striking, I would knock you out, flat out. When it come down to grappling, I would break your arm, flat out. There's nothing you can
bring
beat
that
me
energy.
in. I'm
March
faster
2nd, bring
than
that
you,
energy.
I'm stronger than you, and I promise you, if you come at less than 100%,
March 2nd, bring that
you would
energy.
think about, you would reconsider fighting
Bring that
everything in
energy.
your life. I
Hey, and
promise
let
you
your
that.
cheerleader back here know you can't bring him in the cage.
You know what's funny? Darren Till said the same thing, didn't he? Darren Till sat over there and said the same thing. He said it's time for the young lion.
But I'm not Darren
You
Till.
watch-
You know that.
Guess what? Now, and I commend him.
All right.
'Cause he took
I'm
a
not
million
Darren
elbows
Till.
upside the head.
I'm not Darren Till.
It ain't gonna take that many.
Am I Darren Till?
What you gonna do?
Am I Darren Till?
How you gonna beat me?
You know I'm not Darren Till.
How you gonna beat me?
Hey, it don't matter.
How you gonna beat me?
March 2nd, you gonna hear.
How you gonna
new.
beat me?
And you know what I'm gonna tell you? I'm gonna tell you right now. This is
What
how
you
it's
gonna
gonna
tell
go
me?
down.
I'm about to say
After I
anything.
take that
What you
belt
gonna
from you,
show
know what I'm
me?
gonna tell you. After I
I'm
take
from
that belt from
Missouri.
you, know what I'm telling
I'm
you.
from
in
the
your
show
ear?
me stand. What you
I'm
gonna
tell
show
you just
me?
like this. You've been a good champion.
Oh my God.
You've been a good champion, T.
Ella, here come LL
Thank
Cool
you.
J.
You've been a good
LL Cool J.
champion, T. Thank you, T.
You know
You've
what
been a
I'm gonna
good
tell
champion.
you? Let me get my chapter.
You've been a good champion. You know what? This
You
is
know what
one thing.
I'ma tell
This is
you?
one thing I want to tell everybody.
You've been a good champ, man.
You know what? This is
And
one
I'ma
thing I'm gonna
come
tell.
to
This is
you.
one thing I'm gonna tell
And I'm
everybody.
gonna
You know what,
tell
Tyron?
you.
I thank you.
Sit
I
down
actually
somewhere,
thank you
bro.
very much. I actually thank
Hey.
you for this opportunity.
Hey, I
because
do this,
This
man.
is an opportunity
Hey,
you didn't
Usman,
get.
I do
Which
this,
was
and I've
to
been
take
doing
that
this for a long
belt from
time.
GSP.
See what you started
Some
right
of us,
here?
Hey.
some of us do this. I do this.
Okay.
And I've been doing this I've been doing this before it was legal. I've been doing this in the streets my whole life. Like this,
Okay.
I've been fighting my whole life.
And look at the gap I done closed.
And guess
on
what? And what?
You. Look at the gap I closed in. How many
I
years?
tenderized all your opponents for you. I wrote the book on how to beat Damian Maia. You should thank me. You should give me
Really?
a percentage of. You should give me a percentage of your purse.
Really? How many
Please.
strikes you throw in that fight?
Please.
If we want to break down fights, how many
Please.
strikes you throw in that fight? The fewest ever.
I
Fewest
beat
ever.
every single fighter.
Ever.
How many
Fewest
fighters?
ever.
How many fighters you know that tore labrum that still come back and beat the opponent? Broke a foot and still beat the opponent.
What
Broke
that
his
mean?
hand. You see this?
So you're
This
trying to
happened in
say?
the
So
first
you're trying to
round
say
field.
every fighter
you know
up
what?
here
Boom.
goes into a
Fuck
fight
it. I'm
without
gonna throw
nothing?
some elbows now.
So you're trying
That's
to
what
say?
a champion
You're
does.
trying to say every
What
fighter
I'm
up
trying
here
to say
doesn't go
is,
into a fight
when
with
people
something?
look at Kamaru Usman,
We all go into a
they don't
fight
look
with
at him
something.
like, damn, how the hell did that guy do that? That's That's what they think when they think of me.
Really?
They think
I
of the
don't think so,
destruction.
champ.
They think
Champ,
of the
I don't
ability
think so,
for me
champ.
to get here to
I
there
don't think
in
so.
a fraction of a second.
I don't think so.
They're like, whoa, my God, I never seen Kasha get knocked out like that. I ain't never heard anybody talk about you like that, bro.
Are you sure?
Who?
Are you
Tell
sure?
me what fight.
You sure?
What fight?
You didn't watch Sergio Moraes?
What fight? Who was that? What?
Oh, who was
Who?
that?
What?
Who was that?
You what? Are you doing that against the greats?
Well, listen to me.
Are you doing that against the greats, though?
Listen to me. Every knockout or every knockdown that you've had was with head down, eyes closed, prayer punch.
Man, you can
every
have your
knockdown
eyes
that I've
open
had was with a straight
binoculars
punch.
on.
I'm looking at the
It
target.
don't matter,
Boom,
bruh.
straight punch. I don't need to throw a haymaker. I don't need to throw a haymaker.
Okay.
Hey, it is what it is, champ. Like I told you.
All right.
March 2nd, I'm gonna tell you just like this in your ear. After
I want
that
you to
belt
tell
is
me how
wrapped
you gonna
around
do it,
me,
though.
I'm gonna tell you you've been a good
I want
champ.
you to tell me how you're going to do it, though. That's what I want you to provide me.
All right, let's get another question, you two. Let's get another question. Oh, it's you again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you got now?
Dana, at the Nevada Commission hearing on Tuesday, the commissioner said that they could start possibly sanctioning fighters for things that they say before fights and the lead up to fights, I guess in response to the McGregor and Habib stuff. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Can they do that?
I think it's crazy. I think it's insane. I think it's unconstitutional, first of all. I don't think you can legally do that. These guys get into a cage and they punch each other in the face. They can knock each other unconscious. They can choke each other, but they can't say mean things to each other. It's pretty ridiculous.
And then just for Pedro, just to make sure you're awake back there. How do you feel about this fight? And if you were to beat Cody, where do you think you stand in the division at that point?
That's a great opportunity. You know, that's all the fights that I got in UFC. You know, since my first fight I fought was the LFA champion, was 10-0. I fought Rafael Assunção in 1 week in notice. And that was my first professional loss. And I learned a lot from that fight and have been fighting the best fighters in the division and finishing almost all of them. I'm very excited to fight Cody. He's a great fighter, incredible skills, and I believe my skills are better than his. And that's my time right now, and I'm going to be ready to finish him, knock him out, or finish him.
For Cody, please. Cody, I want to ask you, I mean, seeing the title fight that played out a couple weeks ago with TJ and Cejudo, what were your emotions watching that fight, and did you have a vested interest in how you wanted to see that go down?
I figured that would happen. You know, TJ cutting an extra 10 pounds. It takes a lot out of you. You know what I mean? He's sucked up at 35, and he gets hurt a lot at 35 as well. You know, Henry looked strong at weigh-ins. TJ looked depleted. I called that. Figured he was going to get knocked out. I thought it was going to be in the later rounds, you know, second or third round at least. But, hey, hats off to Henry. Hats off to TJ for going down there and, you know, trying to take advantage of the opportunity to become double champ. Now I think that Henry comes up to 35, you know.
Well, I was going to ask you, I mean, there's this very interesting top of the division right now, right? I mean, this is a huge fight. We've got a Sunsao Moraes this weekend. We're hearing maybe Cejudo comes out to 35. I mean, who do you think deserves? I mean, would you be okay with Cejudo coming in and fighting for the title right away, or do you feel like these other two fights should factor in there?
Man, I don't really care who fights for the title. I'm focused on myself. It's me versus me in there. You know, no offense to Pedro Munhoz. He brings a lot of skill and he's a fighter. You know, everyone's tough in this organization. But it's me versus me in there. I'm focused on myself and getting back to my throne.
Thanks, Cody. And Pedro, I kind of want to follow up with a similar question. I mean, you've always been kind of a quiet, soft-spoken guy. You know, not a big trash talker or anything like that. But this would be a huge win over a former champion. Again, we got Cejudo maybe coming up. You've got the other fight in Brazil this week. But, I mean, do you feel like this is a fight that should earn you a title shot? I mean, do you feel like you've got to speak or you've got to talk trash or can just a win get you that shot?
Yeah, definitely. You know, as me, a lot of people tell me, like, you got to start talking more trash and things like that. And, you know, it's first time in being here. It is a great opportunity. I'm very excited about it. You know, promise you that I'm going to get better on the trash talk thing. But I don't have anything else to say about him. You know, he's a great guy, good-looking guy. Look at him. But March 2nd, you know, we have the similar style. You know, we both have heavy punches. You know, he's a good wrestler. I'm, you know, good jiu-jitsu. So a lot of my fights, you know, I finish people. So do his. So it's a great fight. We both move forward. We both look for the knockouts and submissions. And March 2nd is going to be different, you know. And after being him, I believe 100% that I deserve to be the next contender.
Thanks, Pedro. If I could, just one quick.
I was going to ask, what's one thing you don't like about Cody?
Let's hear it. Talk some shit.
I'm going to say one thing that I like about him. So I can't say anything that I don't like about him. The fight that I fought Brad Jones, it was in LA. You know, he fought TJ there, and we talked for the first time. He's a cool guy. You know, his manager, he has been around the gym that I used to train before in LA. You know, he's a cool guy. You know, one thing that I like about him, and soon after being, I'm gonna buy is his Lamborghini.
Our pay-per-view just went.
Hey. Hey, he tried. No, it's great. I'm excited to fight. You know, Pedro, he's a tough competitor. You know, it comes to fight, but I'm just going to show it to the next level. You know, I have a lot of respect for him, but this is my time to get back to the top, and it starts off March 2nd with him.
Thanks. Kamaru, I just want to ask you, I mean, it's obviously you're definitely fired up today, but I wonder, I mean, you know, is there a chip on your shoulder just from the process you had to get to be here? I know you felt this was your journey, but there was such this convoluted approach to you finally getting your title shot. I mean, is that why you have a chip on your shoulder, or is it something about Tyron that upsets you? What's the energy today?
No, if it comes off like that, I'm not trying to put a chip on my shoulder or walk around with a chip on my shoulder. I mean, this is my life has been, when I look back on it, I'm like, man, I've been blessed. You know, born in Nigeria, walking the streets, walking miles to get water, to boil, to be able to cook and eat and wash your clothes. You know, I never dreamt of being able to be in America, be on here, be in this stage and doing something, being and seeing some of the amazing things and places that I've ever been. You know, going all through that, getting into a sport like wrestling and transitioning into something like this. I mean, just backstage, I was telling Jon, the first time I ever watched a UFC fight was with Jon Jones in my freshman year in college. We went to a house party, and that was the first time I ever seen a UFC fight. And so I've been blessed. All through my life, I've been touched by different people, seen different things. And March 2nd will be the cap of that, you know, being the first African UFC champion of the world.
Hey, Dana, to your right. You know, one question that I don't feel like has been brought up over the last 2 months with everything that happened with Jon and the situation of California and Nevada and USADA or whatever is, do you think that this is working? You know, you brought in this drug testing program 3 years ago, and we've seen, you know, guys lose a lot of their career to contaminated supplements. And then, you know, Jon has a test come out, but then they say, well, it's so low that, you know, it's from years ago, so he's allowed to fight, but then that damages his reputation, obviously. Do you think that this is working? Are you happy with the way that the drug testing is happening?
Absolutely. I mean, these guys are getting tested all the time. These guys are being drug tested nonstop. It's absolutely working. This or nothing, yes, it's definitely working. And the goal is, when you have talented fighters like this, guys that have this type of talent, if you can keep them off these drugs, it creates longevity for their career. The guy, it's a fact that people who use performance-enhancing drugs run into all types of problems with their career, and especially if they get caught and they have to get off them, it's completely life-changing. So yeah, that was the goal when we started the USADA program.
So some of the headaches or whatever that have come up don't outweigh the benefits, is what you're saying?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
We knew, I mean, going into a drug testing policy like this one, you know, there's going to be times where it ruins fights and things happen, but to clean up the sport and, you know, to do what's right for the athlete. Listen, if you're hitting balls over a wall with a stick, who gives a shit if you're using steroids? But if you're in here fighting, you know, another human being, and you're that much stronger, that much faster than they might be, it's very dangerous, and it's the right thing to do.
One fight that you don't even have up on the stage is Holly Holm versus Aspen Ladd. Can you talk about that fight real quickly? And is that a guaranteed #1 contender fight?
Yeah, that fight's not going to happen. That's why they're not up here.
How?
What?
Can you elaborate on that?
We're working on another fight. We're working on another fight for both of them.
On this card?
No.
Dana over here.
That bummed everybody out, huh?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Jesus.
Just to clarify, so Holly will not be on this card at all.
Correct.
Right in front of you. So quick question, actually, to go back to the commission. After the commission hearing, Khabib's manager said that he would not fight in Nevada again, that he preferred MSG. Have you talked to him about that? Will he actually come back to Las Vegas?
Khabib's manager says a lot of things. I don't know if that's true or not. We haven't got into it yet with him. I know that he's not happy you know, with the Las Vegas situation, but I don't know if that's true, that he absolutely would not fight in Las Vegas. I don't know if that's true.
And actually, just to follow up to that, they want him to do that anti-bullying campaign. Did they tell you what that entailed at all? Is he going to schools? Is that just going to be a PSA and he's
That
out?
I don't know. I think it's a PSA, and he has agreed to do that. So he can knock his suspension down to 6 months.
Thanks.
You got one more? We'll do one more, and then I'll square these guys off. Not you guys. One of these guys. We've heard all your questions over the last 45 minutes.
Hey, if we're just asking one more, Rob, I heard you mention earlier that this is a perfect fight for you to come back to. Coming off of an ACL surgery, though, and knowing that Ben has been known as a guy who really likes to wrestle, is that a challenge? Is it a challenge to have to get in there and really work on your wrestling and know a guy's going to come wrestle you when you're coming off of a major knee injury?
No, not really. It was a challenge even if I wasn't hurt. I mean, obviously, look at his record, all the things he's accomplished. So my body's 100%. I'm stronger than I've ever been before. My leg's better than it was before. So I'm looking forward to it.
Is that all you got?
Can I get one more shot?
Give it a shot, yeah. Good luck.
Ben, when this fight was first made, you told me that you thought it was made because Dana White thought Robbie Lawler could beat you. After the nice exchange that you guys had earlier, do you still think that?
I don't know, Dana, what do you think? And I'll answer second.
You know how many times I've been through that in my 20-year career, the paranoia of fighters that I'm trying to get them beat. Listen, when you come to the UFC, you fight the best. He's one of the best in the world. You know what I mean? He's undefeated. You're going to fight the best. You're going right into the top of the heap. You're going to fight nothing but the best here. So believe me, that isn't the first time I've heard that one. Believe me.
But, okay.
I don't determine who wins or loses here. These guys do. I make the fights, and they either win them or lose them on their own. Has nothing to do with me.
Okay, so can you imagine like a 75-year-old Dana sitting there? Do you smoke cigars, drink whiskey? You do something probably, right? No. Hey, okay, well, imagine you're smoking a cigar, sitting in your porch 75, thinking, you remember when those guys thought Askren was going to come here, and then I got his ass kicked 3 times? Like, I can just picture that in my head. That's, like, so funny. And, like, that's probably what I would do if I was in your situation. I'd laugh
You and
about
Woodley must hang out a lot.
That's funny, though. Think about that. That's a funny picture. And then
That's a total Woodley conspiracy. I can hear you two in the gym.
Come on.
Oh, you're trying to get me beat
I'm
too.
Gucci. I'm Gucci. I got more answer, but that's a funny visual. Think about the visual. Number 2 is, listen, I wanted to pick on Darren Till. He's annoying as shit. In the first phone call, they said Robbie, and I said okay. Obviously, Robbie, if you look at his skill set, one of the worst matchups in the top 10 for me. Does pretty well against wrestlers, hits hard. That's what you need to beat me, right? Now, that's fair. I'm good with that, okay? I didn't come here for the right fight. I didn't come here for the easy fight. I didn't come here for the damn money fight. I came here to fight the best world and prove that I am. I want to compete, and so I'm ready to compete on March 2nd.
Was that question better, guys? You happy with that one? All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'll square these guys off for photo ops. See you March 2nd. Face forward. Thank you, gentlemen. Pleasure, man. Thank you. Next. Yep, come on, brother.
Robbie! Knock him out, Robbie!
Awesome. Face forward, gentlemen.
Suck him out, man! Suck him out, Robbie!
Thank you, gentlemen. Come on, Usman. Woodley. Thank you, gentlemen. Next. Come on, boys.
You're lying hot. Johnny! Just a man lying hot. You got this. All yours, Anthony. Just another victim, John. Just another victim. Jon Jones.
Thank you, you too. Face forward.
It's all over. That's Jon Jones. Yes, Anthony. Open you deserve to be here.
You don't think I deserve to be here?
Right, you're bad, John. I came here to see you.
So why you telling him that then?
Thank you.
Hey, Anthony.
Hey.